Welcome back to Questions and Conversations on Leadership and Life. In part 2 of From Snooze to Success, Start Your Day with Purpose, we dive deeper into how we resource ourselves for the day ahead. We will explore key reflection questions, the power of presence, and the strategies to shift it from reactivity to creativity. Join us as we uncover mindful approaches to starting the day with clarity and intention.
So that leads us into maybe a couple questions we might reflect on and ask our listeners to reflect on. And
I agree.
you can reframe these, but here's what I had thought of is, what's your morning look like and how do you resource yourself for the day? So do you have a regular presencing practice in the morning to start your day? And also, just do this for today or even for the week. As you review your day or your week, as you sit here today, the day you're listening to this, what are the moments where you'll need to be at your best, listening to understand, not to response, and where situations may come up where past imprints may impact that? And what does pause, noticing, choose like in that moment, and just see it in your mind's eye? What are those events this week? And having been aware of that, what might you do 10 minutes before those events starts to really arrive in those meetings, situations fully present?
Awesome.
How does that sound to you, Polly?
Sounds good. I'm just going to recap and check if I got
Sure.
it all. What's my morning like?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do to resource myself?
Yes.
And when I look ahead and I'm having meetings or projects that will take a lot out of me, how am I resourced to that? And how can I pause, notice, and choose before going into it? Or if I am within it, what can I do?
Yeah. That's it. And I would just add on that second part, really make that for our listeners, make that this week. As you sit here today listening to this and looking out to the rest of your day and the rest of this, make it real time. As you sit here right now, as you listen to this, what are the events in my day? What are the events in the rest of my week?
Sounds good.
Okay, so
I'm bringing ahead. Yes, I do have something, some music here for us. Let's go with a.
that'll work.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
You see, we are doing this on the go.
Yeah, what's your morning look like? What presences do you bring? And then as you look ahead to your day or your week or even next week, what are those moments that you want to be at your best? Listening to understand. How will I pause, notice, choose? What does that look like? Feel like someday? So, catch up with you soon.
Yes. Those minutes go by fast, but I believe I captured so much here.
Oh, great. Would you like to share? If you have the head or heart, I'd love to hear what what uh, what did that question bring up for you?
So I was thinking, as I said, about my next week, my coming week, and I have meetings scheduled, but big training happening from Tuesday to through Thursday, so 3-day training. And for me to get prepared for that, since it starts around midday, going to the afternoon, some things I really appreciate when I can is going out, having a walk, being out in the sun, getting some sunlight. So that's one of the things I'll be doing. Also incorporating or being more focused on some breath work for that. And one important thing for me is in between the training and then going to classes or teaching is have a time that I am out of the computer, screen off. It really matters to me. When I thought of the people that I would be with, in the training, I really don't know who they are. So it's being curious of who the people I meet are, where they are, where they're coming from, and always meeting with them, being respectful with openness and curiosity. Um, and one thing that crossed my mind, like being with people, getting to know sometimes means asking the questions, which we are usually given in these trainings. We are giving a question to think of, have some time to think about, and then go into a breakout room to connect. But give the person the time to speak and listen, and then I will be really practicing my listening. So thinking of I have 2 years listening more, speaking less, or being concise when I'm speaking. And for the meetings, regular meetings, not the trainings, is enjoying the connection for the meeting and the possibilities that are coming for these meetings. And always be looking at myself on a 360. Whenever I need, use pause, notice, and choose. That has to be present. And it's an exercise, it's a practice on the go, in the moment. So, oh, these are my takeaways. Thank you for
Okay,
listening.
yeah. So enjoying the connection, I appreciated that. Another thing we've talked about that I really like that you brought up is that space, that unhurried space. Even though we compress the time in some of our breakout rooms, learning that, yeah, well, there was a 3-minute timer on that. You don't have to start panicking in the first minute. There's plenty of space to listen to that person. That was a growth edge for me to not be so focused on the time, but just trusting that, yeah, it'll wrap up naturally. So I appreciated that. And then a little the work about getting out in the sunlight, doing your normal presencing. So very nice.
Yes. Yeah. I, it is good to be out in the sun. I am in the sunshine state. I have to enjoy it. Anyway, what about you, Steve? What did you
Well,
capture?
it's interesting. We brought up some of the same things. So Polly and I are both on the leadership team where we're bringing the work that we do on leadership um, in the community we both belong to. We're bringing that to a new community, and that's 3 days of training, which with the other stuff we're involved with connected, that's about 4 hours of each day. So I actually said I am golfing Monday afternoon. The training's
Yeah.
Tuesday through. So I am taking a daylight, whether it's 9 holes, 18 holes. I'm really going to make sure I take that start of the week for myself. The other thing is I shifted my get outside to afternoon from morning so that I can still take, even if it's only an hour instead of a 2 hour time block, to really work on my business or other matters beyond that training. So really saying, look, I'm gonna make sure I get something accomplished before that training starts, and then have a little break to presence myself. And then I'm going to reward myself that afternoon by getting 7,500 steps in, or whatever other things I do outside to recharge my batteries, and then maybe have another go at my normal life in the afternoon for a short time block before I wrap up the day. And as far as presencing, I tell you, I'm just reflecting that presencing practice we just did, that imprint cannot get out of my mind. I mean, that was a big takeaway for me. Hey, that blank sheet of film, that blank sheet of paper, don't bring those imprints and projections from past experience into your world as it exists today. So those are the things that arose for me.
I'm listening to you, and as you said, some of the words you were bringing are some of the words I'm bringing. We do have our routine structured, but we are making adjustments in our routine, and we feel comfortable. You feel comfortable in making these adjustments, bringing what is in the afternoon to the morning, and rewarding yourself at the end of the day to do something extra after spending a longer day in front of a computer with the trainings. And it's just powerful to hear what you mentioned from the first activity we did today, how it is still reverberating within you, having your white canvas and starting going from there to any meeting you were having or any person you were meeting with. You do have your backpack with all the information of life you have acquired, but hey, let's see how we can use that in different ways. But let me listen first, and then I can see what tools I can bring in. That's what I'm listening from you.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing, Polly. And maybe just as I listen to you with that reflection, maybe we'll just leave our listeners with one last takeaway, and that is, Polly and I both looked. We had a similar schedule for next week, but we both looked out the next 5 days, and that practice is very helpful because you may recall us talking about, or if this may be the first time you hear it, when we perceive that the demands of next week exceed the resources that we're bringing to that week, we're automatically in a state of reactivity. But by doing this, looking ahead, seeing it in our minds, I think both of us would agree that we now are in a position where we feel the resources that we're bringing, that are available to us, and that we're bringing, whether it's how we start the day or how we take our breaks, we're now resourced and resourceful. And whenever the resources exceed the perceived demands, we now are in creativity and innovation.
I
So with
love
that,
that.
maybe we can land this plane together.
Absolutely. Yes. Work on your resources and keep being resourced. Thank you for being here, Steve, and thank you for exchanging some ideas with me and with our listeners. Ours precious.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Polly, and I always look forward. We record these on Friday morning, and it's always it's great to have something that we enjoy doing to wrap our week up with. So until next time, this is Questions and Conversations on Leadership and Life with Polly and Steve, and I'm Steve.
And I'm Polly. Bye,
And
everyone.
to all
Bye,
our listeners,
Steve.
make it a great week.
Thank you.
As we wrap up part 2, we leave you with the questions to help you set the tone for your day. Like, what practices help you show up as your best self? And how do you prepare to be fully present? Next time, we will explore even more mindful questions and approaches to leadership and life. For more episodes and updates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time. This episode was hosted by Steve CAMPANA and Poli Bellan Wilson. Produced by Poli Bellan Wilson. Music by freetouse.com/music. Copyright Free Music for Videos.